Okay, we'll see if this glitches. I did download an update, so I'm hoping that will help. The last couple times that I've tried to record things, the visualizer recording, uh, make sure it's tilted correctly. It has been glitching and stopping and starting, and so I'm watching the counter and it's blinking, and I'm talking and it seems like it's not glitching. Yay! Okay, so this is my B-side of July, Flosstube 7B. And again, I haven't thought of a clever title yet. I will figure that out when I post it. I'm not sure when it will get posted because I'm rather busy, and I'm going to spend some time whining because it's my birthday and it's been a really sucky birthday. So this is going to be like, uh, to, you know, um, talking about life and some of the things that's been going on. Um, I think things have turned a corner, so if you're inclined to worry about me, I don't think you need to. But sorry, my my little paper that says what I'm going to talk about has a little curl it's at the very bottom of the pad, so it's like the edge is curling up. So I look at it to kind of give myself some little courage, and it's like, but I can't see it because the edge on the pad's curled up. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate those people who watch it and want to stitch with it, or may not subscribe at this point. I appreciate you too. And but yeah, it's my birthday. And I had a surgical procedure done this morning instead of sleeping in, which I was hoping to do today. Um, my job, July is the worst, most busy month out of the whole year, and so I've been employed for coming up on 8 years in December, and I've taken my birthday off twice in the 7 summers that I've spent. Is that 7 summers? Yeah, 7 summers. Um, and once because my birthday was on a Saturday. Um, but actually, I didn't. I took off the Friday, which is a better day to take off than a Wednesday. But Wednesday's not too bad. Mondays are impossible. Thursdays are strongly discouraged, and because I have certain things that become data that's becoming live for people in the districts to look at. So I need to be on tap to help districts and support them, and be there to answer the phone when they say, my data look funny. Why is this happening? And then I say, oh, because this is how the data were coded, and if you want that to be fixed, this is what we need to do. So anyway, so yeah, we broke something, and we didn't realize it was broke, and it didn't. Things passed, and then at the time it was supposed to go live 2 weeks ago, it I discovered it was broken, and we were like, okay, let's put it off for 2 weeks. So tomorrow, one of my data validations goes live, and so originally I thought, oh, July, I got this in the bag. I've been doing this long enough. It's gonna just things are gonna roll out, and then they didn't. So I almost felt like maybe I shouldn't take today off, but what had been happening in my personal life kind of made the day off being off something I didn't want to change. And so that thing that's been happening is uh, like 12, 13 days ago. I actually longer than that. I had a ingrown toenail. And so that's not a big deal for most people, but I'm diabetic, and my diabetes has been getting worse over the last year or so. And um, I've been doing a lot of things to try and make that improve, but it's been sort of hit or miss. And the drug companies decided to withhold certain diabetic and obesity drugs for several months this winter. So one of my meds that I've been on for a while, I couldn't get for a couple months. So my blood sugars went straight back up, and or up more than they should have been if I'd been able to get my meds. Um, so having $35 a month insulin is not enough. We need to hold the companies accountable for other medications people need because they don't care. Okay? And that's not political, that's just the way it is. And so um, anyway, I got all my meds, and hopefully when I renew my prescription next week, I can get that med again. I haven't heard that it's a shortage yet. My husband's having the same problems with shortages for one of his medications that's not related to diabetes, but has also been under a national shortage for, I don't know, years, um, because a lot of people need that particular class of drugs. And so anyway, I don't like being whiny, but I'm gonna whine. Okay, so like I said, about 13, 14 days ago, I had an ingrown toenail. I clipped my toenails and tried to, get the nail out of the skin. And for the first time since I've been doing this all these years with that particular toenail, I got an infection. And so people with diabetes can get an infection in one of their extremities, and it won't heal right, or it'll get infected and then you'll end up with an amputation. And so I was watching this, and last a week ago Monday, I went to the urgent care and I said, "This is a problem." And they're like, "Yes, it is. Here's some antibiotics." And then I went back on Friday and said, "This is getting worse. The antibiotics aren't doing the job." And so they gave me another antibiotic, and that one kicked in real fast. And so I missed a couple times meeting with Stitchy Friends because I hadn't been able to wear shoes until Tuesday because I had this sore toe that, and if I had bandaging on the toe, the bandages didn't fit in the shoe. So, and it was hurting a bit. So I finally got on Tuesday where I could put shoes and socks on, and it wasn't excruciating because it had healed enough. And when I had gone in the first time, they said, "Well, we're going to refer you to a podiatrist, and if he needs to do anything with the nail, then he or she will." And so that appointment was today, early in the morning, and I went in, and they said, "Well, we can cut off part of the nail." And so what they do is they make an incision that is like just a slice off the edge of the toenail. And so, and apparently there's a lot of toenail that's underneath the skin. So they said, "We're going to take 2 millimeters, so you won't even really see it on your toe, that this slice that is going down the, what would that be? It's the up and down dimension." I don't know if that's not the width. That's the height of the toenail. So it's this slice. So it would decrease the width of the toenail by, as they said, 2 millimeters. But then when he pulled the part that was underneath the skin out, it was a lot bigger than 2 millimeters. And my husband was there holding my hand, and he was like, "Wow," and I was kind of like, "Okay, that's more than 2 millimeters." I was trained as a scientist, so I have a good idea of what 2 millimeters look like, and that's way bigger. It's more like 6 millimeters, and or or more. So, but anyway, so now I have my toe. I've had this in the office surgery on my toe. They injected the toe with a mix of two different topical, well, not topical, like some kind of uh, anesthetic type stuff. And so they said in 6 to 8 hours, you'll regain feeling in your toe. And I may have that. Actually, about 5 hours after this happened, I had a like horrible pain. Felt like, this nail going through my foot. And and I was exhausted, so I just collapsed after we got home from the doctor, and so that horrible feeling through my toe woke me up from the nap I was taking. I was like, okay, this is kind of scary, and so but it continued. I continued to have these weird pains, and I finally figured out that it wasn't the part that had the surgery. It was maybe because they have this big bandage on my toe. So my big toe is like this huge bandaged thing, um, which I have to have on for 24 to 72 hours, and I'm going to take it off maybe 36 hours from now. And so I'll be not going to my in-person stitching tomorrow night, um, but I'll be able to Zoom with them. And so yeah, so the thing I figured out is that my toe, where they did the surgery, I can feel it now that it's a little hardly sore at all. I have a really high pain tolerance even without the nerve damage from diabetes. I still, I can kind of feel some stuff there, but it's not like it's excruciating or hurting, and it's just enough to be sort of annoying. And so uh, and I'd been taking those antibiotics, so I didn't have any really underlying infection, just maybe some inflammation, and so um, and I'm still finishing out my antibiotics, so I should be good for a few days. And the doctor didn't anticipate that I would have any more problems getting a new infection, but if I did, you know, I could call them and get a prescription, and um, so I'm sitting here and my toes beginning to feel a little sore. But what I thought was that made that horrible feeling, because I had my husband look at my foot where that pain was coming from, and it's nowhere close to where the toe is. It's like in the center of the foot. And so I'm thinking it's because there's this big bandage on the toe, and that's putting the toe sort of out of alignment with the other toes and the other bones in the foot. So I'm kind of getting more like my toe's going to feel sore because it needs a chiropractic appointment or something. I mean, it needs things to be aligned, and things are out of alignment because of the bandage. So that's where I think I'm at. And I've been dealing with this, like I say, for the past 2 weeks, and I'm really done with that. I really want. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff. I had a book club on Tuesday night, which was great. First time I'd been to the book club in months and months, and everybody was happy to see me. And it was a good book. We read The Bean Trees by Barbara Kinsolver, and that is her first novel. It's set. It was written in the early 80s, and I think it's set in the very early 80s. Part of it takes place in the 70s. And so, anyway, so we had a great, fun discussion about how we all, because I'm, in my early 60s, and I'm not the youngest person in the room, but there are a lot of people who are quite a bit older than me. One of my friends who's in the book club, she's like my mother's age, so like, quite a bit older than me. And um, so, yeah, so we were all talking about how we grew up, which was different, and how things were as for kids and parents that were expressed in that book and in our own lives, but are totally different now. Like, one lady said that in Georgia, where she had lived, like it was illegal for kids to walk 3 blocks to school, which I found appalling. And if kids aren't walking to school, how can you be surprised by childhood obesity? I walked every day to and from the 3 blocks to and from the school. Although I did have to cross a big truck route with a railroad track, and I didn't know this when I was 5 years old and crossing that street by myself, but apparently there have been a lot of fatalities at that street. Oh, hey, there's Willow. But anyway, I mean, that's just how life is different, from when I was a kid so many years ago to now. And good girl. Just making sure she's not getting into the plant. I did chop off one of the other, one of these, this one actually. Yeah, you're gonna sniff that. That one got chopped off, and I gave part of the jade plant to another stitchy friend, and I still have one piece that I need to chop off. And give away. So, anyway, but that's not something I can do as a YouTube giveaway because that's going to be. Um, I can't really send a live plant through the mail. I mean, I probably can, but I don't know what condition it would be when it got there. Um, Although you probably could with a jade plant because you chop them off and you let them dry out for a week or two, and then you can replant them. So at least that's what the book said when I read it. How do I prune my jade plant? So anyway, that is totally apart from cross stitch. How my life's been going. My husband went off. Today's his day off. He went off to the store to make some returns and to get some supplies that the doctor wanted us to get. And I said, bring me back a chocolate cheesecake. Because I don't have any birthday cake or anything. He did give me a bunch of uh, games through our online Steam account, and I haven't even looked at it. I just looked at my phone and said, "Oh, you gave me a bunch of games today." So, um, anyway, I did buy his birthday's coming up. I did buy him his present. It may or may not arrive before his birthday because it may be coming from the UK. Not sure. Uh, so that's the whiny part. Curated cross stitch collection. I don't have any because I had this toe issue. I couldn't go back to the store to stitch. Uh, well, I couldn't. Yeah, around the 12th, 13th. The 13th, I couldn't go back to the store because I had a family reunion at the beach, and that was great. Getting to get to know my husband's uncle and his cousins much better. And so, and I did a bunch of cooking, so they got to know me better. And I, I was really happy. The one evening, one of the his uncle said, "Well, whose idea was it for this thing that we had for dinner?" I said, "That was my idea." And he's like, "This is the best meal ever." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." You know, so very simple. It wasn't anything complicated, but something I knew everyone would enjoy. And so the only thing I got between now and then, and I didn't go to the shop last weekend, which I was hoping to because of my foot, and that's when the antibiotics were finally kicking in. So things were turning a corner, but I still couldn't like put my foot in a shoe. So the only thing I've received physically is I have bought a bunch of candy cane ribbon. This is and this is like a 1 inch and a 2 inch ribbon, and then this one's white. There was a 2 inch white ribbon, and I thought I was going to buy some, but then I ended up it wasn't on my shopping cart, which I thought I saved that, but it's okay. I can buy more. And this is from Fantabulous Supplies, which is on Etsy. And so I was hoping when I get this finished, I was not going to have my finisher make it into a little pillow, but make it into some kind of a flat fold or a hanging thing. And then maybe she could put some of maybe the white ribbon on it, sort of, and so, but she and I was going to give it to her this week. I'm really, really, really close. So let me show you. It's really, really close. And I'm going to do this somehow so it's not so glary. I'd played around with this so it wouldn't glare, and now I can't figure out what I did. So anyway, I have 6 stars, which go up here with the crescent moon. And I've put 2 of the stars in. Everything else has been stitched. So it's really close, and I hope I will finish it tonight or probably tomorrow. And so then I can give it to my finisher friend on Saturday. And so I am going to talk about what I'm doing Saturday, and then I'm going to get into a preview of the D-Stash event, the sidewalk sale at Acorns and Threads. Last Flosstube, I showed the kits that I was going to try to offload. And today I'm going to show you the books that I'm going to try to offload. And so a lot of these I've had for a number of years and I haven't really used them, so I thought, I haven't really used them, I'm gonna try to, see if other people would like them. And when I'm gonna be selling things, I've got some prices set in terms of how much I want to send, but really I want to get rid of this stuff, so it's kind of like I may have a set price or best offer. So if you want to haggle, I am open to that on August 3rd. So anyway, this Saturday, if assuming my foot lets me, and I'm hoping it will, if it's not hurting any worse than it is now, I'll be fine. But we have the Bristol 101 class at Acorns and Threads, and that is a 2-day class. We're going to be working on punched paper, and then we're going to get a bunch of patterns, like I don't remember how many, but we're going to have some lectures on the Bristol samplers. The models for those things are actually at the shop, and that's what convinced me to take the class, because I am not a sampler person. I am going to make some samplers one day, but it's not something I am chomping at the bit to do. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, and then a lot of people right now do Christmas in July, and I would love to get to my One Snowman's Family project again, but I have people who are having babies, and so I'm not going to show you the swan bib right now because I don't have it out, but I have not stitched on the swan bib since the last time that I did the Flosstube. I have just been working on Moonlight Garden by Rebel Stitcher, and because I have a deadline for getting it to finisher, and I want to make that deadline, and then the swan bib will be put in the rotation for the rest of the month. And then my coworker who's expecting a baby, they're down to 1 week OB appointments, and they had theirs this week, and he came back to a meeting with me and some other people, and he had said to me right before the meeting, the doctor said it's 1 to 3 weeks. And that was a couple days ago. and he was talking about, I'll be in the meeting next week. And I'm like, well, maybe. And I said, if your doctor says 1 to 3 weeks, it could happen this weekend. I don't think it will. It's their first baby. I don't think it's going to come early. But, as much as people might want their baby to come early because they're that miserable in the summertime, it may not. But it probably won't be 3 weeks. So anyway, so I haven't even started his Studio Ghibli bib yet. Got the patterns lined up. I have the bib, and I'm trying to remember where I stuck it. It's like put away, like over on that table. But what's been bad is the cats. They like this cotton stuff on the bib, and so, oops, here. They like this stuff. I don't know, the texture of it. So when it's on the table, they want to chew on the bib, and so I'm having to like watch where the cats are and watch where the bib is because I don't want them to, unravel pieces or chew holes, which they haven't. But it's like, okay, I have to keep these things kind of put away. Um, and so, but before I do his bib, which I have all the supplies and patterns for, I'm going to do um, the, gosh, let me grab that. So I have one more baby gift, and it's going to be using the teddy pattern, which is right there. Gotta tap the right finger. And this is what the pattern should look like, not like North American black bears. And so I'm going to do the official teddy pattern because this is baby Teddy, and I'm going to do baby Teddy's initials on baby booties. So that's the first time I'm ever going to do that pattern as intended, which will be fun. And I don't even know what colors the letters are because I think there's 3 different color. The M on the cover is a baby pink, but I think there might be a blue or a teal they use, or like a light green or something. So I don't know what colors the letters will be, but it's going to be the baby's initials, and so one initial in each booty. So, and that'll take me like 2 weeks, which is great because that baby's due date is August 8th. So my coworker's baby's due date originally was August 4th. So, which could be August 4th, or it could be July 30th, or it could be a little bit later in August. I don't know. But I know that the Studio Ghibli will take me a little bit to do. The patterns are pretty simple, but I got to figure out where they're going to go on the bib and how they're going to be arranged, and grab all the DMC for it. But so they won't take me too long because they're really fairly big color blocks. And so that's the plans. It'd be nice to do Christmas in July. I would love to do more Halloween stuff because I love Halloween patterns. And so anyway, yeah. So I haven't had, except for the Moonlight Garden, I haven't really had whips other than, and with this toe thing and with work, I have just not been stitching. And I've been trying to keep up with the book club that I've sort of rejoined, or for this year, because there's 12 or 9 out of the 12 books are things that I own or have read that I want to read. So I haven't. I was kind of thinking I wouldn't do September, but then everybody's like, "Oh, this book's so great." So I don't know. I will think about it. If I can get it from the library. And apparently there are books available for holds, so I could probably get it from the library to read. So anyway, and turned in 2 more summer reading program. Are those like? No, I can't reach them. They're moved off. The summer reading logs. I turned in 2 more yesterday, and I know I will do 2 more in the next couple weeks. And I think I'm not sure when the summer reading stops. It's sometime in August, I think. Sometimes it's like there's so much math to do in that, and I read so much anyway that it's like by August 1st, I'm like, okay, we're done. I've turned in like 7 or 8 reading logs, so that's like 8,000 plus minutes of reading. And I don't even count all the stuff I do, because technically I could count all the stuff I read at work. I could count all the podcasts I listen to, which are hours each week. So, but it's too much work. So anyway, that is what I'm doing. Now let's get to the D-stash, because I've been blathering on for 29 minutes and I want to make a short video. So anyway, I'm not going to show these in any particular order. These are all books that came from my um, stash of cross stitch and quilting, embroidery related stuff. So the first book in the stack, like I say, no particular order, Barbara Hammett, Celtic Art in Cross Stitch. Over 75 beautiful designs, and they really are beautiful. Um, the one I like this bird one actually, and I thought, maybe do I really want to make a couple Xeroxes before I give away this or sell this book? And I'm like, not so much. I think there's also one with snakes that look interesting. So, trying to see if there's something like outstanding, like a picture that I can. Yeah. So here's the birds. I'm gonna just okay, make that straight. So Book of Kells peacock picture. Yes, Willow, isn't that pretty? So hopefully she is such a hacker. She had renamed my recycle bin on my desktop. And my husband was fiddling with my computer, and he's like, "Let's rename that." I'm like, "But it's Willow's. It's what she typed." And then he was trying to retype it, and the cap lock was stuck. And it was pretty funny. So anyway, I'm gonna put this over there. I'm trying to watch out for Willow. I kind of cleaned off the table, so she's not as much of a pest as Max is. So this is Laurel Birch Quilts, Kindred Creatures. At one point when I was starting to, this is like, I've been cross-stitching since 98, and I bought this around 2002 or 2003, thinking I would really like to do some of these patterns. But, I like this bright, folk kind of bright colors. I like that stuff a lot. I like it in my cross stitch. I like it in quilts that I would think about doing, but I just haven't. This is probably sort of an expert quilt thing rather than a beginner quilt thing. So that's 12 projects for applique and embellishment. Then this is Better Home and Gardens, Cross Stitcher's Big Book of Alphabets and Borders, and it is a big, thick book. And I'm not going. And I have a lot of this or similar things in other books. I was trying to see if there was. So here's some like little sheep and letters, and I guess there's a gingham cat down there. That's cute. But anyway, I don't. A lot of this stuff's older patterns that I don't really appeal to me. And Willow, you're not gonna take the. She's sniffing the candy corn ribbons because they're in a plastic thing. So I'm worried she's gonna like go yoink and take it and play with it. But anyway, so I'm trying to find. Oh no, that's interesting. So this is like a tassel alphabet sampler. So not quite your usual cross stitch. So anyway, and it tells you what it's stitched on and what flosses, and so that's yeah. I can't really show much else because there's patterns on the pages. So this is, I was gonna say when it was published. Originally $24.95 was the retail price, and $94. So again, a little older, but if you're just looking for alphabets and scripts, there's a lot there. And then this is an older book I got in a me see if there's anything. It's black and white. Oh, I guess there's some color in it. Um, I guess it says color section, and then it shows some of the stuff. So it's patchwork, you know, sort of things like a quilt block design, and like here's another section there without the glare. And so again, this is an older book. And I was gonna sell these books for $5 each, but if you wanted this, I could, you could definitely haggle. So, this is 1980 by Peg Farrell, and again, it might appeal to people who have, who have quilting that they want to do. So, and I know people are doing quilts with old crochet doilies, and they are doing, you can do cross stitch. And I know people who do wool applique, so I know there's a lot of different decorative ways to do quilts. And then this is another thing I got. At one point, I was thinking if I was going to go to Renaissance fairs, which I ended up not doing, that maybe I could stitch some stuff and sell, which is kind of ridiculous given how much time it takes to stitch things. But I can't show anything from this, but this is 101 folk art designs for counted cross stitch and other needle crafts. And so I'm trying to remember if I kept out one of the other kelp things that I got, and this is another piece on the back. So this is just a book of patterns with like minimal or actually no. It's just the patterns with no. There's no fabric suggestions. There's no DMC or other types of floss suggestions. So you could basically take one of these black and white patterns and then do whatever you wanted with it. So anyway, and this is from, this is also an older book. I'm not sure where I got it from. It's it's from 1982, Dover Needlework series. And so those are, I think, all the books. And then I've got patterns, of course. And one of my stitchy friends said that she had a box of patterns she was going to give me, because she's been deciding whether or not she's going to, she's got, several lifetimes worth of patterns and cross stitch materials, and so she kind of was like, okay, these are not sparking joy for her anymore. So she was going to give me those to destash, and then the ones that I don't get, we're going to a stitchy friend of ours who just started in the last 2 months, if that, cross stitching. So it was funny. This lady shows up at our stitchy group, and one of our members taught her to cross stitch right there. So, and she's been finishing stuff like crazy. So she's been having a lot of fun. So, all right. So I think that is it for today. And I don't know when I will get this edited and when I will get this posted. Possibly edited today. I don't know if I'll have time to post. Probably. But so anyway, I hope to see some of you at Acorns and Threads this weekend for the Bristol 101 class. Sorry, Willow is, I don't know if I can get everything here. Hey, So she went into my cross stitch bag, which is right behind her, and she pulled out a dirty Kleenex. So anyway, uh, so that's all. And Willow says bye, and good luck stitching, and I hope to talk to you in a couple weeks. Bye.